Have you ever had a moment where you whisper to yourself, I can't keep living like this? Not in a dramatic way, but in a deeply honest way. That moment, that raw, stripped down, soul exposed moment is what I call a spiritual rock bottom. And if you're here today, it's probably because something in you is tired of pretending, tired of carrying things alone, and tired of being strong for everyone else. And you're ready. You're ready for something real. I want to welcome you back to the channel. My name is Natasha Nile, and today we're talking about how to rise after hitting a spiritual rock bottom. Spiritual rock bottom doesn't mean that you failed. It isn't punishment. It isn't a sign that you're off your path. It is the moment your soul stops allowing you to betray who you really are. Most people think rock bottom happens because life is collapsing. But spiritually, rock bottom is when your inner world collapses. It's when the roles you played stop fitting. It's when the people around you no longer match your frequency. When the life that you built doesn't feel like your life anymore. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's the turning point. It's the moment when the universe says, everything that was draining you has expired, and now it's time to rise. I want to talk about the space no one warns you about, the quiet in between. It's the part of your journey where you don't feel like your old self anymore, but you're not the new version yet either. And that space feels uncomfortable. You may feel isolated, you may feel disconnected, you may even feel invisible. But here's the truth. The silence is where your new identity roots itself. It's sort of like a spiritual cocoon. And cocoons are not glamorous. They're dark, they're quiet, they're confronting. But that quiet space is sacred because it's the first step of rising. You begin to hear your intuition again. You begin to feel your energy returning. You also begin to sense yourself rebuilding from the inside out. In fact, rock bottom strips away the noise so you can finally hear your soul again. People think rising is a single moment of inspiration. Well, it's not. Rising is a decision that starts quietly, almost unnoticeably. It's when you wake up and say, I don't know what my next step is, but I refuse to stay where I am. That decision is powerful because energy responds to intention. And once you decide to rise, even if you don't take action yet, your vibration begins to shift. Your spirit begins reorganizing, and your path starts illuminating. And slowly, you rebuild yourself without even forcing it. You start to breathe a little bit deeper. You begin to reconnect with something meaningful. You choose yourself in small ways. Another thing is you say no where you once said yes. You rest where you once pushed through pain. That is rising. Not dramatic, but intentional. Not loud, but powerful. After experiencing spiritual rock bottom, you don't return to who you used to be. You evolve. You rise with more intuition, with more boundaries, with more self-respect, with more clarity, and more soul alignment. And the life that once drained you, you're no longer attracted to. You begin to seek environments that nourish your spirit instead of dimming it. You begin to allow support instead of carrying everything on your own. And you begin to value peace in your life instead of constant chaos. And you begin to reclaim your power. And you reclaim the power that you were separated from long before you ever even experienced the rock bottom. Something to note is that rock bottom didn't break you. It only revealed your breaking point in order that you can start to rebuild your life differently. Okay, now let's talk about what rising actually looks like in your everyday life. And not in a strict do these steps kind of way, but in the little choices that start to shift your energy. Because rising is subtle at first. And it begins in those tiny moments when your spirit nudges at you. You know that feeling you get in the morning when something tells you, don't scroll just yet. Take time to breathe. What if that moment matters? And if you follow that nudge, if you put the phone down and give yourself even 2 minutes of awareness, you've already begun this rising process. And once you take one aligned action, it becomes like a domino effect, and another one wants to follow. Maybe that moment of presence leads you to drink some water. Then afterwards, it makes you choose a healthier breakfast. Or maybe then you feel inspired to stretch, to walk, to move your body in a way that reminds you that you're still alive. All of that is rising. Sometimes rising, for example, looks like opening a notebook and just allowing your thoughts to spill out. Or realizing, you know what? I actually want to create something, which might guide you to dust off a hobby you abandoned, like writing that novel you once dreamed of, or signing up for a pottery class, or start painting again, start dancing again, or just simply returning to any joy that you put on the back shelf because you convinced yourself that life is too heavy and you simply don't have the time to do it anymore. Again, this can all be rising. And rising is not necessarily spiritual. It's also practical. It's emotional. You embody it. You rise every time you choose a habit, basically, that begins nourishing you. And you rise every time you express yourself instead of suppressing yourself. You rise every time you follow any spark of joy instead of collapsing into a familiar pain. And you rise every time you say, I'm going to show up for myself today, even if it's just in one small way. Because all those tiny actions, they build momentum and they rewire your energy field, which begins to shift your frequency. And this allows for doors to open inside of you that you forgot you had. And before you know it, those moments become your new lifestyle. They become a higher standard for how you treat yourself and how you allow the world to treat you. You rise by listening to these soul whispers and then choosing even one small action that honors them. Okay, loves. Thank you so much for tuning into the video today. I appreciate you all. And if you want to find out more, or if you want to shop for amazing metaphysical clothing and products, or to book a healing session with me, just head on over to natashanow.com. And until next time, take care. And remember that real transformation begins from the inside out.